Hi, welcome to Educators. In this video, we are going to see creating of arrays, array indexing, array slicing, and reshaping of arrays. So, how to create an array? In the previous video, we have seen how to create an array by using various methods. Now, we are going to create an array by using an array function. For that, first we need to import numpy as np. The general syntax here is np.array, the list of elements, comma, data type. That is, it is represented as d type. So b is equal to np.array of 1, 2, 3. These are the three elements we have given. And here, representing a b in the sense we are printing b. Once we are printing b, we are going to get the output as array of 1, 2, 3. Here d type is optional. We didn't mention the data type. Coming to this example, here I have considered f is equal to np.array 2, 3, 4, 5. I have given an integer values. And the data type here I am mentioning is float. If I print this array, I am going to get an array of floating point numbers 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot and 5 dot. This is how we can create an array. The other way of creating an array is using arange function. It generates a sequence of elements in a given range and return an n-dimensional array. The syntax for it is arange function start. What is the start value? Stop and d type, the data type. The syntax for it here is given. Now coming to the example, import numpy as np is equal to np.arange of 10. Here we are going to print 10 elements, that is from 0 to 9, total 10 elements. The start is optional and the data type d type is also optional. We have given 10. How many elements that an array should contain? Total 10 elements. As we know that the array starts from 0, so it is 0 to 9 elements. If you see the other example here, E is equal to np.array, np.arange of 4. Here I am giving the row, index and also the column, the size of row and column. Here I am taking 4 and here again we are taking as 4, which is starting from 0 to 3 elements. That is, so total number of rows. How many rows? We are having 2 rows and the total number of columns, 4 columns. So this tells that what are the values that are going to be stored in each row. That is 0 to 3. The next function we are going to see here is reshape. This gives you a new shape to an array without changing its data. Here I have taken np.arange of 9. So 0 to 8 elements are going to be stored in an array. Now I am going to reshape an array as 3 by 3. So c dot reshape. So I am going to tell the shape of an array. I want 3 by 3 array. So these 9 elements are going to store in a form of 3 by 3. So 3 rows and 3 columns. Next, we'll see how we can perform slicing on array elements. The array forward index starts from 0 and backward index starts from -1. So these are the indexing values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 in the forward direction, and coming to the backward direction to access an array elements will take our negative values. How slicing can be used? If I want to access these 3 elements, that is 1, 2, 3 elements, if I want to access only these 3 elements, or if I want to slice only these 3 array elements, I should represent like this as a of 1 colon 4. What it says is I am going to start in index position 1. So it is starting at index position 1 colon 4. So 4 here is excluding that index value, that is 1 to n minus 1 elements, that is 4 minus 1. Total 3 elements, that is 1, 2 and 3. If you want to slice in a backward with the help of a backward index, you can use minus 7 colon minus 4. Here your index starting position is minus 7 and I want to access till the 5th element. I should exclude minus 4. So I should give a range of minus 7 colon minus 4. So this is how you can perform slicing on array elements. Now how to access an array elements? Given an example, an array is going to hold the elements as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We can access either in the forward or in the backward direction. Now coming to this example here, A is equal to, here I have taken a range of 8. So total 0 to 7 elements are going to be stored here. So 0 to 7. I am printing A. So this is how the values are getting printed here. Now here I asked to print, I have sliced the array elements from 1 to 2. So array of 1, 2. So what are the two elements here? 1, 2 are going to be printed here. It is starting index value 1. So it is starting from 1. And what is the ending index number given? 3. 3. Here it is n minus 1. So till the second element. So the output is array of 1, 2. Right. Coming to the next example, same array, a range of 8. Print A. It is going to print the elements in an array. Next, I am going to slice. It is from 6 to 3. And here I am mentioning the direction. That is minus 1 here. Now, here I am going to get 6, 5 and 4. I am going to access from the 6. The starting index is 6. And how long I want to access here? 5 and 4. Total 3 elements. And here this 3 is the value which is given here. Right? So it should go with only minus 1. That is minus 3 minus 1 which gives you minus 4. So only 4, 6, 5, 4 are the 3 elements that are going to be displayed. Coming to the next example, A is equal to a range of 8. Again I am going to take only 8 elements, that is 0 to 7. Now I want to print the elements in a reverse order. For that I am taking total number of rows and the columns. I am giving the index position, that is the axis, backward axis. So I have represented it as minus 1. So they are starting from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So this is how we are going to get the output. This is how you can access array elements. One more example here for accessing an array elements. If you see here, minus 7 colon minus 3. What is minus 7 colon minus 5 here? It is 1, 2. This is going to be excluded. It is still n minus 1. The same way, here minus 3 colon minus 6 colon minus 1. It is in the backward direction. The output we are going to get is 5, 4 and 3. So how can you access array elements in multi-dimensional arrays? Or this can be asked like how to get a subset of an array. Either of the thing is valid. For that, I have taken an array of 16 elements, right, 0 to 16, and I am going to reshape that array as 4 by 4. Now my array shape is 4 by 4. Print A. So these are the elements that are going to be printed, 0, 1, 2, 3 to 15. Now I want a subset of an array. What is the subset here? I want this 2 by 2. I want to get 5, 6 and 9, 10 as my output. For that, I have taken A of 1 colon 3. I want to start from an index 1. So it is starting from an index 1 till 2, that is n minus 1. N minus 1 means this is n. 3 minus 1, it is 2. So 2 rows, 5, 6 and 9, 10. This is about the column representation. So coming to the column, I am going to access the same column, that is first column and the second column. So total, I am going to get the output 5, 6, 9, 10. This will be the output. This is a subset of an array. Same way, if you are going to access the elements with a negative index, to get the same subset 2 by 2, that is 5, 6, 9, 10, I am going to access using the negative index. So for that, I am considering here as minus 3 colon minus 1, that is minus 3 to minus 1. So I need these 2 rows to be accessed and these 2 columns to get accessed, right? So total, the subset here is 5, 6 and 9, 10 is going to be displayed. This is how you are going to access a multidimensional arrays. If we look at one more example for this subset of an array. Now here I have taken the shape as 3 by 3, 3, 3, 3. So total I am going to have 3 rows and you will have again 3 columns, right? And here if you look into this A1, 3, how can I access this? If you see this red color arrow or red color box, this 1 colon 3 is going to take the first row and the second row. And this 1 colon 3 is going to, within this subset, it is going to take the first and the second row. And coming to this 1 colon 3, out of these subset of blue color, it is going to pick the first row and the second row. This is considered, the complete thing is considered as the first row and this is considered as the second row. So this is the subset which we are going to get as an output. 13, 14, 16, 17, 22, 23, 25 and 26. Now coming to a shape attribute. Now coming to the shape, it returns the dimensions, the shape of an array. Here we are having 4 rows, so it represents the 4 rows and 3 represents the columns. So the shape attribute is going to return the shape of the tuple. The same way here, another example, A dot shape. It gives you how many rows, columns and also it is going to give you the 4, 3. Total number of rows here is 2 and here again 4 rows, within each of these is containing 4 rows and total number of columns is 3. And coming to one more attribute of an array, it is stride. As we have seen in the previous video, it is used when traversing an array. Now a range of 24, we are reshaping it as 2, 4, 3. So A dot shape returns 2, 4, 3. This is the output for this statement. And coming to this, print A dot strides. So what is going to be given here? It is going to give you total 48, the elements, that is 12, 4. Each data item size is of 4 bytes. So that is how you are going to traverse an array. So for accessing these rows, it needs 48. For accessing these columns, it needs a size of 12, but each element is of size 4. So to traverse one element in the given array, then we need to have the item size here is 4 bytes. A few more attributes of an array. N dimension or ndim. It tells the number of dimensions of an array. So this is how we are going to use this. Given an array of size, here I have given total 16 elements in an array. The number of dimension, I didn't reshape an array. If you are not using a reshape function, by default it will be a single dimension array. So print n dimension. A dot n dimension will return 1. It is a single dimension array. Now I have performed a reshape. Now the size of my array is 4 by 4. Right? So here, if you are going to take a dot ndim is equal to a dot ndim, it gives you the total number of dimensions. And the next is data, the memory address of an array. It gives you where actually the address is. In my system, when I perform, this is the address. Coming to the size, number of elements in an array. So how many elements are there? 4 by 4. Total 16 elements are there in an array. Item size, the size of each element in bytes. So in strides, we have seen in the previous example, each element is going to hold 4 bytes. Right? The same way here, if you want what is the single item size of each element in the bytes, you can get it by using an attribute item size. It is 4. Coming to n bytes, the size of array in bytes, it gives you the total size of an array in bytes. It is 64. The size is 4, and coming to the item size of each is 4. Total 16 fours, it is going to give you 64. Coming to the next is transpose of the given array. This is how you are going to represent that. An array dot t is used to represent the transpose of an array. To represent the rows as a columns and columns as rows, we can make or we can change the array elements with the help of a transpose of a given array. So after performing the transpose, this is how you are going to get. The original array A is going to hold these rows as 0, 1, 2, 3 in a row manner. After performing the transpose, they are represented in a column manner. And coming to dtype talks about the data type of an array, that is a dot dtype. Int 32. Here, what are the total elements here is of type integer. So the data type here it is returned is int 32. Arithmetic operations on arrays. How can you perform? These arithmetic operations will be performed on the corresponding elements of an array. Here I have considered two arrays A and B, 1, 2, 4, 5. And coming to the B array, it is going to hold 10, 20 and 40, 50. I am going to print array A, which is going to give me this resultant output, and array B is this output. Now I am going to perform A plus B. C is equal to A plus B. Now I am printing print C. Now it is going to perform an element by element addition operation. So 10 plus 1 gives 11. 20 plus 2 gives 22. 40 plus 4, 44. 50 plus 5, it gives 55. This is how an arithmetic addition is performed on arrays. Coming to the subtraction, C is equal to A minus B, the corresponding element subtraction. 10 minus 1 gives you minus 9. 20 minus 2 gives you minus 18. It is, we are performing A minus B. So A is positive and B is negative. Minus 10 here, it is minus 10 plus 1 gives minus 9. Minus 20 plus 2 gives minus 18. This is how subtraction is performed. In the same way, multiplication is going to be performed for the corresponding elements of an array. Now 10 into 1 gives 10 and 20 into 2 gives 40. 40 into 4 gives 160 and 50 into 5 gives 250. This is how arithmetic operations on arrays are performed in Python. The next comes is array broadcasting, a very important and interesting thing. NumPy verifies the dimensions are matched or not. If not, the smaller array will be repeated, or we can call it as broadcasted to match with the larger array. If the dimensions are not matched. If the dimensions are matched, the corresponding element operations will be performed. If the dimensions are not matched, it will consider the smaller array and it will broadcast to match with the larger array. We'll see what is this broadcasting mechanism here. Given an A is equal to array 1, 2 and 4, 5 and B is equal to an array of size 10, 20. This is a smaller array. Now I am going to print A and B. A is 2 by 2 and B is 1 by 2 array. Now we are going to print a plus b. Coming to a plus b, 10 plus 1 11, 20 plus 2 22. But we don't have any corresponding elements to add with this the second row 4 comma 5. So here what NumPy will does here is it is going to broadcast this array. It is going to consider this 10 comma 20 array as 10 20 and again here 10 20. This is how it is going to broadcast. The shape of this is going to match with the shape of the larger size array here. The larger size array is A. And then it performs addition operation. After broadcasting, it is going to perform this operation. So it gives 10 plus 1 gives 11, 20 plus 2 gives 22, and 10 plus 4 again gives 14, and 20 plus 5 gives 25. This is called as broadcasting. Similarly, the same thing, C is equal to A minus B. After broadcasting, it is going to perform negative operation. It is A minus B. The same thing goes here, A into B. That's all in this video. In the coming video, we'll see how to create views and arrays. Thank you for watching.